Page 63. Caddy settled herself contentedly between Maggie Bunn and Lida Silbernagle, with Jane Flusher just beyond. They were the four inseparables while school kept. Across the aisle the boys scuffled and whistled under their breaths. The teacher had her hands full with the boys of the Dunville school. Some of them were as big as she was, or bigger, and they were used to the rough ways and the crude humor of a pioneer life. Asha and Arbedia Jones were the worst, great hulking boys who could scarcely get their knees beneath the desks. They came to school not to learn, but to see what fun they could have baiting the teacher. Toward the end of the summer term, they had things pretty much their own way, and they had returned now, full of vigor and anticipation. Obedia had worn his bearskin cap into the schoolroom, and now he stretched his long legs across the aisle and put his feet on Maggie Bunn's desk. "Stop that, Obedia Jones!" cried Maggie. Her almost white pigtails quivered with indignation. Her good-natured blue eyes flashed dangerously. "Why, who says so?" drawled Obedia, shoving his wet boots farther onto the desk. "I'll tell Miss Parker." "So I will," cried Maggie. "Tattletale! See if I care. I ain't scared of anybody in the school. Not me." "Is that so?" cried Addie. She half rose in the bench beside Maggie and brought a large ruler down with all her strength across Obedia's shins. He was so taken by surprise that he yelped with pain, and brought his feet to the floor with a bang. Instantly the schoolroom was in uproar. Obedia lurched forward and caught hold of Caddy's curls, and Tom and Warren, sensing danger to Caddy, began leaping over benches and desks to get at her tormentor. But if the Woodlawns were clannish, so were the Joneses. Asher threw himself in Tom's way, and the two went down together, rolling and kicking under the desks and benches. Clattering slates and the shrieks of frightening little girls mingled with the shouts of the boys. Miss Parker, who had been calmly ringing the last bell, rushed in to behold her schoolroom in complete disorder. "Boys! Girls!" she cried. "Stop! Stop at once!" The noise began to die away. The shrieking girls and shouting boys slipped into their seats. Tom and Asher ceased pommeling each other and crawled out from under the desks, looking a little ashamed of themselves. But in the middle of the room, Caddy and Obedia still struggled and fought, Obedia pulling her curls this way and that, and Caddy getting in a kick on his shins whenever she could. The children looked with odd faces from Miss Parker to the struggling pair. What would Miss Parker do? Her mouth had set in a hard line, thin line. "Obedia Jones, Caroline Woodline, stop at once!" she cried, and she caught each one by a shoulder with a firm hand. Obedia shook her off, but at the same time he let go of Caddy's hair, and with a well-directed parting kick, Caddy let him go. "What is the matter here? Who started this?" cried Miss Parker, her face pale and troubled. There was an awful silence. Then Hetty, who must tell her, burst shouted, "It was Obedia, ma'am. He had his feet on Maggie's desk, and he wouldn't take them off. I saw him. Is this true, children?" Yes, it was Obedia, ma'am." "And how did you get into it, Caddy?" "Ma'am, he wouldn't take his feet off Maggie's desk, and he said he wasn't scared of anybody in this school, and I hit his legs with the ruler." "And I'm not scared, neither," growled Obedia. "I can do what I please, and nobody das't to stop me. I done what I pleased last summer, and nobody das't to stop me. Nobody das't to stop me now." He set his bearskin cap straight on his head and looked at the teacher with defiant eyes. The teacher looked back at Obedia. She was a small woman, and now she was pale and trembling. It was a breathless moment. Even the youngest children knew instinctively that something was at stake. In a moment more they would find out whether Miss Parker or Obedia would rule the school this year. That's the end of page 67.